Hello everybody, this is G from Transportinfo Limited, and in this video I'm going to provide you with the correct answer. What answer? On the previous weekend we had a stand in Tramore. We were at Waterford Truck Show and we had a nice question there, actually, some kind of quiz question. I'll show you the question here. Of course, this question about the driver's hours and how to take weekly breaks and stuff like that. So the question here, almost 3 weeks without 45 hours break. How? Answer the question and win a pack of beer. And we also had a planner there. So of course that was empty here, and that was the point. Just explain me if you have 45 hours here somewhere at the beginning of the first week, and if you have 45 hours break somewhere at the end of the third week, how can you manage all the way down without any other 45 hours break? Which is very useful. It's handy to know. As you know, you can't take any regular weekly rest in your cab. So if you know how to do that, then you won't break the law, because you don't need a regular break. That means you can stay in your cab. So if you go to the continent, if you want to work 3 weeks on the continent, you don't need to take a regular weekly rest. That means you can stay in the cab. And we had few winners, actually, not too much. We had the first winner here, and the second one, and the third one. And by the way, we had a fourth one, but we couldn't take the picture because he just grabbed the beer and he just ran away. So just go back to the planner now, and I'm going to explain how can you do that. As you see, that was the basic planner with the 45 hours breaks here and here. But now, of course, I just feel that. And the point is, you have to think about the 6 days regulation, and of course you have to think about the definition of week. And if you know the answer, you can fill this form and you could win the prize, the pack of beer. So the 6 days regulation, very important, because between 2 weekly rest period you have only 6 24-hour periods to drive or to work, and then you have to start again a weekly rest period. So you have to think about the 6 days when you plan your next weekly rest. And we have 1 day here, 2, 3, 4, so that's absolutely fine. And we just take 24 hours here, which is very handy, because if you have a curtain inside there, and if you have a groupage load, that means you have to take a break anyway, because there are traffic bans out on the continent, like in France, Germany, Spain. You have to stop anyway your truck. So it's really handy to take that 24 hour on Sunday. And then you can start another 6 days period, like here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, and you take another short, reduced, so-called reduced weekly rest, which is 24 hours again. On Sunday, it's just handy again, because probably you have another traffic ban out there, so you can just park up on Sunday. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6, whatever, you can use the 6 days again. But finally you have to start a 45 hours break somewhere here. And the question is just coming, how can you do that? Because you have a short, so-called reduced weekly rest here and here. So how can you do that? Because you have 45 hours here, that's fine. And then you have a short one and a short one again. So how can you do 2 short, 2 reduced weekly rest period? And to explain and to give you the answer, we have to go and take a look on the regulation. And by the way, you can download all these regulations from my website, which is www.transportinfo.org. And also we have www.transportinfo.ie. So if you want to use that one, you can use that one. If you want to use the org, you can use the org. But basically you can find the knowledge base on the org website, ending with org. So if we go there and if we download the regulation, which is the 561, and we can go through the definitions. A week, very important. What is it? Week means, according to the regulation, that means period of time between 0 on Monday and 24 on Sunday. And this is GMT, so it's very important. If we go to this website, which is time, you can see the GMT. The GMT at this moment, 8:23, and the Irish time, 9:23. That because of the daylight saving time. Okay, so we just changed the clock. As you know, it went forward 1 hour. So you have to think about this when you think about your tachograph, because your tachograph just using the GMT. So when I say week, if we go back, the week means 0 Monday and 24 on Sunday. That's very important. I will explain later why. And now let's take a look on regular weekly rest periods and how to do that, how to take the breaks. In any 2 consecutive weeks, a driver shall take at least 2 regular weekly rest periods, or 1 regular weekly rest period and 1 reduced weekly rest period of at least 24 hours, as you know. And of course, the reduction, you have to repay that, blah blah blah. We just not dealing at this moment with the compensation, and we just don't want to count now how to repay those short weekly breaks. So the most important, the regulation says 2 consecutive weeks, and you can take 45-45, or you can take 45-24-45. But again, in any 2 consecutive weeks, and the weeks, we had the weeks before, as I said, it's Monday 0 and Sunday 24. So if we go back to the planner, you can take a look. This is your first week, your second week, and the third week. And if you think about your weekly rest periods, you have a 45 here. And then the next week, you have the 24 here, so it's covered. The first one is covered here, because you have 45 here anyway. This one is covered. The next one just covered here, because you have 24. So you can do that, because you can do 45, 24, 45. And of course you have to repay. You have to compensate the missing hours. So this one is covered here. And when we go to the third one, you have the 45 here. So the third one just covered 2. Because you have 45 here, 24 here, and 45 here. So the question is just coming, why do you need this 24, this extra 24 here? And the answer is the 6 days periods, okay? Because we have the regulation about the 6 days. So you have 6 days, that means 144 hours max between 2 weekly rests. So when I say you have to take a break here or here, whatever you want, that means you have to start your next break because of the 6 days regulation. And that's the only reason you need to take a 24 here. Otherwise, your first week, as I said, covered here, here, and the third one just here. But if you can't trust me, if you don't believe me, you can check this out, because the EU made a nice explanation, so-called trace. Okay, you can download this document from my website. So if you go to transportinfo.org, you will find all these dockets in different languages. This one is the English version, and as you see, if I scroll down, as you see, it's co-financed by the EU. So it's not just a docket made by myself or by anybody. It's an official explanation, and not just for you, but for the authorities too, how to check and what to check and what's legal, what's not legal. And if we take a look on the weekly rest rules, it says the same. So you have to think about the 144 hours. You have the 6 days regulation here. And of course, it just explains how to take these weeks. So 2 regular weekly rests, 45 hours. Or, as I said, a regular weekly rest and a reduced. And also, if you want to split, I mean, if I go back to the planner and I show you, if you want to start this break somewhere on the previous week, for example on Sunday, you can do that, but you have to think about this break as this break will belong to this week or that week, whatever you want to, you have to pick one. But if you say that 45 hours belong to this week, then you have to count that weekly rest period will belongs to this week. So it's very important if you want to use this long break, your 45 hours break during the weekend, but it goes like here to Monday. As I say, if you start on Sunday and if you want to finish on Monday, you can do that, but you have to think about this break. You have to count this break, your long break, to this week, because the regulation says a weekly rest period that spans 2 weeks may be counted in either but not in both. So you can count to week 1 or week 2 but not both. So it's very important when you say if you have a break, and if you start your break on Sunday morning and you finish somewhere Monday evening, you have to decide. So you want to count that weekly rest period to the first week or to the second week, but you can't count that break in both weeks. So it's very important. You have to think about your weekly rest period like that. And as I said before, the 6 times you have 6 24 hours period, and you have to start your next weekly break before the 144 hours just over. So if you go back to the planner, you can see here we have 1 2 3 4 days here, absolutely fine. We have 1 2 3 4 5 6 here, and we have 1 2 3 4 5 5 days here. So that means it's all legal, no problem, no infringement. You can do that. You don't need to worry about this, and it's very handy to know, as I said before, as you don't need to worry about your break in the cab, because you need only 24 hours breaks here. Now, what I want to show you, actually, that was the picture, that was the question here. Yes, finally, I just want to show you this Direct Mentor program. We just introduced our brand new services, and we just want to keep you on the legal side. It's a new service directly for drivers. So if you're in trouble, if you have questions, we can answer you, and also we can analyze your tachograph. We can tell you what's wrong, what is legal, what is not legal, and we can help you with any other problem regarding dangerous goods or driver's hours. It doesn't really matter what kind of question regarding transport regulation, we can answer. So that's all for today, and if you have any question, if you have any problem, we can answer you. So you can leave a comment, you can visit our Facebook closed group, or you can join us, and you can send a message. Also, you can email us or just leave a comment under the YouTube video, and we do our best to answer you. So thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.